This is the sewer cleanouts in this irrigation box. Sewer cleanouts in the irrigation box on the parkway in front of the house. Also in the parkway, this is the water meter in the parkway in front of the house. It's an analog meter, which in our case is good. A little triangle right in here. That's a flow indicator. Some people call it a cheater wheel or a cheater paddle. Call it what you will. But it's very sensitive, and if that thing's moving, then water's moving towards the house because there's a leak somewhere. Either it's the commode is leaking, or maybe the dishwasher's on, or you got a leak in the crawl space or someplace that you can't see. But if that guy's moving, so is water, fresh water. That's not a sewer water test. It's a fresh water test. We'll come along here. I can find the cleanouts, but I cannot find a main water shutoff valve. This is not accessible. There might be one in this monkey grass. Might be. I'd be kind of interested to see. But I can't find one today. But we can check the water pressure. And this is kind of loose. Look at that. Not so good. We're looking between 40 and 80 psi. And we're hitting right about... It's backing up a little bit. We're at the top of our game here. 80 psi. If it was higher, it would be a deficiency. People say, you know, those people can't get enough water pressure. Well, that's not true. Too much water pressure stresses out your pipe, and you're replacing things more often, and leaks happen more often. We're multitasking here. You're probably going to see this video way before you see the water video. This is the condensing unit. This is the condensing unit right here. And it's got the 410A refrigerant, which is the good stuff. Let's see here. Let's see, heel. How many years old is this guy? He's like 12 years old. They're engineered on paper to last 20. Engineered on paper to last 20. They may last 35. I had one that did. I didn't get the first 33 years out of it. I got the last 2 years out of it, but Las Vegas is going to give you 14 years on something like this. This is about how long air conditioning equipment lasts in North Texas with the loads that we put on. After 14 years, this has done just about everything you would expect it to do. So where are we at here? It's 12 years old. It's not 14. It's R410A. That's the good refrigerant. What we got here? What we got here? It's 4 tons, 34. Let me just take a few notes here. It might be 3.5 tons. 34. We'll find out. I'll find out for you. Now, 12 years ago, things were a little different, even though we had 410A. 12 years ago, this foam was acceptable. So that soft stuff today, with energy standards, you'd have a rigid foam. 4 years ago, these little Schrader valve caps, they were acceptable. Okay, today, they would be anti-theft Schrader valve caps. Look Schrader valve up in the dictionary. You won't find it. This disconnect is not supposed to be behind the unit. We have an electric service outlet here. Huh. That's interesting. Try not to forget him. Try not to. No GFCI. No GFCI. Ground fault circuit interrupter. While we're at it, while I'm taking some notes, let's see here. 30-40. That's my method. Sure. This disconnect should have been sealed, just like the electric meter in the previous video on its sides and top. I have a still image where I got inside of there. Still image where, to my first glance, it looks like it's wired up fine. This unit is not level. So the oil in the compressor doesn't sit in the same place. It has a bath. It's probably a scroll compressor, so it's still a passive bath, and it doesn't collect oil to move it up through the compressor the way it should. So that's, can have a detrimental effect on the longevity of the equipment because it's not level like that. It's supposed to be level, which it's not. The air conditioning pad, the foundation pad for the condensing unit, okay, it's supposed to raise the unit at least 3 inches above grade, so it's not doing that. And on most of these block compressors, condensing units, they're supposed to be at least 12 inches away from the wall. So it's too close to the wall, it's not level. It's not high enough from the ground. I'm going to pick on the foam and the Schrader valve caps. We still got a couple things to determine off of the data plate, which you have an image of. We'll have an image of. The electric service receptacle outlet is not GFCI protected, and the disconnect is not sealed, and we do not have a rain diverter over the top, so the water just comes down, and that will also cause the unit to die prematurely. So we've got, it's not level, it's not protected from the rain. Both of those things can have a detrimental effect to the longevity of the equipment.